Chapter 9. 3 Minutes in Love. Ava immediately locked the door and sat down as Arlo left. She wondered why these people ran crazy over Arlo as if he was the first man to quote her. The room caught fire because of the controversy. Those who predicted Arlo's comeback claimed to have won, but the opponents contested that he never entered, while those on Ava's wanted it all, for she had opened the door. Drama intensified when the referee called it a draw for the two sides. Those who predicted no action intervened that since the other sides drew, they considered themselves winners. The simple argument accelerated into a battle that called for the attention of the manager, who summoned them all to her office. She was very bitter with them as they spoke of their issues. Ava asked the referee to give each party their money and vacate her office. She still wondered why these people were very much interested in Arlo compared to other men she had earlier. As soon as she picked a phone to call Ivy, she received one. Ivy told her that she was at the cafe seeing Arlo seated around the corner pressing his cell phone. As usual, Ava showed off that she had nothing to do with him. Ava wanted to establish what made Arlo so unique that everyone matched him with her. Ivy replied that the dude was pure and real. She exclaimed at such an answer from her friend and inquired whether she was in her senses. Right, just like any other person, Ivy never knew what made Arlo extraordinary. She told Ava to hurry. However, Ava claimed that she had no time for such an ordinary person. She hung up as Arlo stood behind Ivy. Arlo, you look nice, Ivy. I know. You too. Arlo, always. May I have her contact? Ivy. You will get it from her. Arlo, I'm not insane. The two argued. Ivy explained that Ava would be mad if she learned that her friend had given in her contact. She added that it would be better if he called using her phone. When Ava picked, she never listened to who was on phone. She right away quarreled that she had no intentions of meeting a shameless, irresponsible nobody who did not deserve her. Ava, wait. Ivy, are you there? Ivy. Ivy. She hung up, having had no response. She hurriedly called back to hear Ivy speak one word. Hello? She sensed Arlo was around and summarized her work. The two talked for a while as Ivy got to know Arlo further. They spoke while taking liquor, which steadily galloped to the brain. He saw Ava in Ivy and gave her a hand. It was already dark. The duo stormed the dance floor and gently shook their bodies. She tightly held him with one hand around the waist while the other rested on his shoulder. He felt how warm her body was and lost control. She too wanted whatever he did with his hands that kept on trespassing from one border to another. The couple went cozy with the dance as she suggested taking some rest. Arlo kept a deaf ear. He elevated her and looked into her eyes, then said, "You are so pretty." This alerted her to sense Arlo knew he was with her. When she pulled backwards, he called her Ivy. It was not a mistake. She thought he took her for Ava, but since he made this choice, she decided to give in. After all, Ava had turned the man down. They danced for around 10 minutes, then took their seats. Someone recorded them unknowingly and went away. The two had had some good time. They never felt the same after that moment. They exchanged contacts while taking a few snacks. Her eyes were so irresistible. He fell for her. Within a shake of a lamb style, Ava scurried as if she had never stepped on the ground. She was so radiant. Arrow forgot about what she had said on the phone and went to meet her. He happily opened his arms and engulfed her. He closed his eyes passionately and fell into her chest. He felt her body. Ava too clasped her arms around him and smiled while looking at Ivy. The two went to the table where Ivy was and the party began. Arrow cast eyes at Ivy, then Ava, and mentioned, "You are so beautiful," as she smiled. She was happy to see him again. The special woman spoke that she had a collection of gifts from men but never wanted any from Arrow. The writer then got her hand and mentioned, "I am the gift, and you will never regret." She smiled again. Whatever Arrow said made her excited. This went beyond Ivy's expectation. She excused herself and dashed home. She had no idea that Ava was already head over heels with Arrow. It was an incredible surprise. Arrow also never imagined that Ava would be this positive suddenly. He used every second with her, for he knew he would never have another chance to impress her. Arrow put the thumbs together, then joined the rest of the fingers and formed the name Ava. She called it childish. He pulled his shirt down to the breast. He had tattoos on their chest. One side had her name, then the other his. The name Ava was printed on every cloth of his, including the shoes. She was indeed out of words. Arrow then spoke that she was so beautiful. They continued discussing their likes and dislikes as the gent proposed for a formal date between the two. Ava wanted him to find her at X Hotel, for the place was safe for the two. This was the spot that Arrow worthed most, getting all the memories, the humiliation of his life. They all came back. He wanted to oppose, but wished to remain calm. Piecing her was not his intention. Ava explained that she was going to say goodbye to friends there on that day, nothing much. This was because Ava had dates who failed to win her heart and ended up putting them in the friendship zone. They were comfortable there and only saw her once a month. Some took months. Arrow gazed at the person he yearned for and exclaimed how their relationship would look like with such countless suitors. He knew he had no special word to tell her, neither anything to do for her to choose him. He simply stammered that he liked her. Ava smiled at him. They continued. "Arrow, I'm trying to get the right words to tell you." Ava, "I know, but you are." Arrow, "I may be confused, but please be my wife. You can take your time and think about it." Ava, "It's okay. Let us try it." Arrow, "Really?" Ava, "Yeah." Arrow, "Have you accepted?" Arrow, "Yes." Arrow got lost in astonishment. He touched himself continuously to establish whether he was awake. He was the happiest. He stood up and requested for a hug. Ava gave it to him instantly. It was so romantic that she felt his little brother striking. She sensed it and drew back, then told him to relax. Promptly a text message popped on her phone directing her to check the internet. A full video of Ivy and Arrow dancing with Ada played.